We welcome to the show Charlie Landsborough. How's it going?
I'm smashing, Chris. Good to be with you, mate.
Your new album, Silhouette, is out on the 25th of February. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it's a bit of an eclectic mix, actually, because there's a wide variety of stuff on there. There's 16 tracks, 11 of which are my own, and the record company said, could you do some country music covers? So I've done some covers of some classic songs like Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain and City of New Orleans. And the 11 tracks of my own are a bit varied, to say the least, because we've got the ballads that people generally know me for. We've got a couple of rocky-type things on there. And we've got one track which is a bit odd. I said it sounds like Ravi Shankar meets Riverdance, because he got like an Irish sort of rhythm going in the background. And we brought in some a wonderful Indian flute player, and that's fluttering over the top. So it's a real mixture of stuff, really, and we just hope there's something there for everybody.
Yeah, I definitely think there is. How long did it take you to put together the album?
Well, it was a bit sort of pressurised, because I was over in Spain. I go to record in Spain because it sounds very flash, but it's just that a friend of mine who played in the band, he moved over there with his family, lock, stock and barrel, and he's got a studio in his house. And I went over in December, December, and laid the basic tracks down, and then went back in early January and discovered all the wonderful musical expertise that other people had applied to the songs, and sang the final sort of versions then. So it was put together in a very short space of time, really, but it doesn't show. And with the wonders of modern technology now, I mentioned the Indian flute player, you can send a track off, like we did to him in India, and he put his flute down, and we sent some tracks over to America, and we got this wonderful harmonica playing on. So there's people on there that I probably never meet, but I'm much appreciative of their contributions, you know.
Yeah, it's very different nowadays, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, yeah. Technology, I mean, I'm absolutely useless, I haven't got a clue, but I'm in the hands of people who do know what they're doing, you know. Well, I think so.
You're performing at Tunbridge Wells Theatre on Thursday the 7th of March. What can your fans expect at the show?
Well, they'll hear the songs that they know me for. I think you're a fool if you leave out those particular songs, but they'll hear some of the new songs, and they'll hear we've resurrect some songs we haven't done for quite a while, and between the songs for people who've never been to see me before, I tell me usual little anecdotes and stories and jokes and things to lighten the whole proceedings. And I've got a smashing band with me, and well, there's quite a few of us on the road. There's about 13 or 14 of us on the road, so I hope people will enjoy it. It's a great place to play, Tunbridge. I remember when I first went down there, I thought it's going to be a very sort of sedate. They're not going to be into. I don't know what my impressions of Tunbridge was, but they were shattered in a nice way when I went there. It's a really nice place, and the audience were great.
They're good at Tunbridge Wells, aren't they?
They are. It's a smashing little town, yeah.
What two tracks would you like me to play off of your new album?
Well, would you want something stirring or something gentle? I suppose if I gave you one of each, would be okay, wouldn't it?
Yeah, one of each would do. Yeah, that'd be good.
Well, you played Never Going Back, which is a gentle ballad, which could be deemed as a love song or even a gospel song. I'm a great believer, but it was written as a love song, but on reflection it could be considered a gospel song. And then I suppose if you played, well, let's not go for the real up-tempo stuff. I might frighten off some of my older fraternity. But if you played a very fine line, which is a gentle sort of art country thing, you know.
Who are some of your favourite country artists then?
Well, I like all the older fraternity, possibly because I'm older myself, but I think a lot of the modern ones, as talented as they are, and there's some great singers and everything there, there's not that sort of distinctive flavour that the old ones had. Whoever it was in the past, as soon as the record started, even if you didn't like him, you knew who it was. You knew, you'd say, well, that's definitely Johnny Cash. That's Waylon Jennings. This is Hank Snow, and so on. It's Jim Reeves. And nowadays, I don't think there's that individuality there anymore. I don't know what it is, but a lot of them, it sounds very similar. Apart from the area that I do like is bluegrass. I think that hasn't been bought off yet. But of my favourites amongst the country music fraternity, I suppose some of the older ones. I mean, I grew up as a lad listening to Hank Williams and that. But then, of course, you got Merle Haggard, I like Johnny Cash, you like Willie Nelson, all the old stalwarts, really.
Country singers, yeah. Do you think country's gone too pop then?
I think it has, yeah. I really think it has, and too sort of predictable. And I don't think that was the case in the past. And I think it's lost its soul a little bit. I think, like everything else, money creeps in, and that sort of dictates what's going to happen. And that's why one of the things I like about bluegrass, I think it's still got its roots there, you know. But yeah, I think some of the modern music, as good as it is, I mean, as I say, there's fantastic musicians and singers still there, but I don't think it's got that sort of wonderful, indefinable individuality.
I suppose there's less room for musicians and singers to do different things, you know, to experiment.
I think so, and I think that's one of the sad sort of reflections upon modern music. I mean, I was talking to a presenter on Merseyside the other day, and he said, do you know, he sort of likes some of the sentimental stuff as I do myself. He said, I think a lot of presenters are terrified of anything that's slightly sort of sentimental. So all you'd ever get, I mean, it's great to have the up-tempo and the happy stuff, but music has many more shades to it than that, you know. And I think that's the case with music generally. If you turn your radio on, you get an awful lot of the same thing. And years ago, I think it was much healthier because you got a bit of more diversity in what you could hear. You'd get a sort of novelty album, song in amongst the rock and roll and the pop and the blues and all the rest of it. And I think you really need that. You need that sort of mixed diet, if you like, mixed musical diet for it to be at its best.
Where are you touring then? Where else are you going to be?
Well, we start in Stockport on the 28th, I think it is, and we finish up ultimately in Whitley Bay up in the northeast, but we're taking in Scotland and we're going as far as the Isle of Wight. And then I'm home for about a month, and I'm off to Australia for about 5 or 6 weeks, which is a fantastic thing to look forward to. It's a great country and lovely people.
You've been there before then?
Yeah, we go generally every second year, and it's the journey is awful because it's like a day on a plane.
Yeah. But
it's worth it for the destination. The place itself, I think, is great. And I'm going to the people who sort of book me over there and look after me over there are like great friends now. We're more like brothers than business partners, if you like. And we just enjoy our little tour around Australia, seeing all the scenery, meeting the people, and fantastic country.
Yeah, I've never been yet. I fancy it, but no, I haven't been.
Well, everybody who's ever been that I've ever spoken to has all said much the same as me. They've all sort of thoroughly enjoyed it. And the Aussies are great travellers too, and they're very friendly. And what you see is what you get. And when I first went there, I asked Tony Allen of Frost & Allen, who's a friend of mine, I said, what's it like? What are the Aussies like? Tony, he said, they're very much like the Irish, which sounds a very strange thing to say. But I know what he meant. He meant they're very much like the Irish in their approach to life and their sort of easygoing nature. And as I say, what you see is what you get. That's them.
Yeah, much like your album then. What you see is what you get. Or what you hear is what you get.
Well, I hope what people hear is what they want to get, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining me on the show, Charlie.
It's a pleasure, Chris, and thanks for having me, mate. It's great to talk to you. God bless you.